I was never the monster.
A ghost on the mountain. My name is Johann Schmidt. You know me by another name. A name I wore like a mask until the mask became the face, Red Skull. It sounds like something from a child's nightmare, doesn't it? A monster to frighten them into obedience. Perhaps that is all I ever was. But before the mask, before the power, there was a boy, Johann. A small, hungry boy in a world that had no room for him. My first memory is of cold, not the crisp, clean cold of a winter morning. This was a deep cold, a damp cold that lived in the stone walls of our room, in the thin blanket on the bed, in my own bones. It was the cold of being unwanted. My mother died bringing me into this world. My father, he looked at me and saw the reason for his misery. He saw the end of his love. He tried to drown me, his own son. In that moment I learned the first and most important lesson of my life. The world is not kind. It does not care for you. You must make it care. You must take what you need, because no one will ever give it to you. I ran. I lived on the streets. I was a beggar, a thief. I learned that a piece of bread could feel like a king's feast, and a dry corner to sleep in could feel like a palace. I learned the language of survival. It is a simple language. It has only one word: more. More food, more warmth, more strength. I saw the world for what it was. A chaotic, messy, violent place. People preached of gods and goodness, but I saw only weakness. I saw men trampling each other for a coin. I saw families starving while others feasted. I saw nations build walls and wave flags, pretending their patch of dirt was better than the one next to it. It was a lie. All of it. A grand, foolish lie to hide the terrifying truth. There is no order. There is no plan. There is only the will of the strong and the suffering of the weak. And I was weak. Oh, how I hated it. I hated my hollow cheeks and my thin arms. I hated the fear that was my constant companion. Every day I woke up with a fire in my gut. A fire to become something else. To become someone who would never be cold or hungry or afraid again. Then I found them. The party. They spoke a language I understood. They spoke of strength, of purity, of a new age. They saw the same sickness in the world that I did. They promised to burn it all away and build something new, something perfect. Did I believe in their talk of a master race? Of blood and soil? No, not really. Those were just words, tools, a story to rally the weak-willed and the foolish. What I believed in was the idea behind the words, the idea of control, the idea that one strong will could bring order to the chaos, one hand to guide the world, to cut out the rot, to make it clean. And there was one man who seemed to embody this will, the Führer. I saw him speak once. I was just a boy sweeping floors in a hotel. He looked at me. Not at me, but through me. He saw the hunger in my eyes. Not for food, but for something greater. He saw the same fire in me that burned in him. He told me he saw the future of Germany. He gave me a chance. He gave me a uniform. He gave me a purpose. For the first time in my life, I was not Johann Schmidt, the orphan, the thief. I was part of something. Something powerful. But I quickly learned that even the Führer was just a man. A man with his own fears, his own petty ambitions. His vision was too small. Germany? Germany was just one more patch of dirt. I saw a bigger picture. The whole world was sick. The whole world needed a cure. And I would be the one to deliver it. I created Hydra. My Hydra. Not an arm of his army, but something more. Something that would live on long after his 1,000-year Reich had crumbled to dust. Hydra was founded on a simple, beautiful belief. Humanity cannot be trusted with its own freedom. Freedom is life's great lie. You think you want it, but you crave submission. You cry out for a leash. You want someone to tell you what to do, how to live, so you do not have to bear the terrifying weight of choice. I sought power not for its own sake, not for riches or for glory. I sought power to save you, to save all of you from yourselves. I delved into the old stories, the myths. The world was full of whispers of great power, of objects that could bend reality. The gods of old were not gods. They were beings of immense power, and they had left their tools behind. I found the Tesseract. When I first held it in my hands, it was like touching the heart of a star. It was pure, beautiful, infinite energy. It did not speak in words, but in ideas. It showed me what was possible. A world united, a world at peace, a world under my control. Not the brutal, clumsy control of a jackbooted thug, but the elegant, precise control of a surgeon. To wield this power, I needed to be more than a man. I found the work of Dr. Erskine, his super soldier serum, a formula to create the perfect man, the pinnacle of human potential. He wanted to give it to a good man, a weak man. What a fool. Goodness is a flaw. Compassion is a vulnerability. You do not give the ultimate weapon to a saint, you give it to someone with the will to use it. I took the serum. I was the first. The pain was unimaginable. It felt like my very atoms were being torn apart and put back together again. It burned. Everything burned. When it was over, I was stronger, faster. But the serum, it was not ready. It saw what was inside me. It saw the perfection I craved, and it stripped away the imperfect shell. It peeled back the man and revealed the symbol underneath. My face became a monument to my own will. I looked in the mirror and I did not see Johann Schmidt. I saw the future. I saw the Red Skull. And I was not afraid. I was beautiful. I was what humanity was meant to be. Pure, uncompromising, strong. Then he came. Steve Rogers. They took Erskine's formula and they gave it to him. A small, weak boy from Brooklyn. A boy who drew cartoons and wanted to stand up to bullies. They made him strong and he was still a good man. I hated him. I hated him with a purity I had never felt before. Not because he was my enemy. Not because he fought for a different flag. I hated him because he was a lie. He was everything I was not. He was given the power I had to take. He was praised for his compassion, for his kindness. All the things I knew were weaknesses. He was the world's foolish hope in a bottle. The idea that you could be strong and good, that you could have power and not use it to dominate, and the world loved him for it. They looked at his perfect face and his shield, and they saw a savior. They looked at my face and saw a monster. Our war was not about nations. It was a war of ideas. His world, soft and chaotic and free, versus my world, hard and ordered and secure. Every time we fought, I saw the conflict in his eyes. He did not want to kill. He held back. He always held back. And that is why he was destined to lose. To win, you must be willing to do anything. To sacrifice everything. I was willing. I pushed my science, my army, to the very edge. I built weapons that could turn cities to ash. I was ready to cleanse the world, to start anew. And I would have done it. I was so close. In the end, it was just he and I. On my plane, the Valkyrie, soaring over the world I was about to save. We fought. He was strong, yes. But I was stronger. My will was stronger. I had the Tesseract. I held cosmic power in my hand. I looked at him, the beaten little soldier, and I told him what I was going to do. I was going to bring a new age. A beautiful age. And then I held the cube. I felt its power surge. It was too much. Not for my body, for this world. The power was not meant to be contained in a simple machine, in a simple man. It opened a door. I saw everything. Stars, galaxies, the fabric of time itself. It was glorious and terrifying. I was pulled away, torn from my victory. I thought it was death. For a long, long time I wished it had been. I found myself on a forgotten world, Vormir, a place of dust and twilight, a silent purple planet haunted by a single terrible purpose. The Tesseract, in its infinite wisdom or cruelty, had not killed me. It had given me a new role. I, who had sought ultimate power over life, became a prisoner, a guide, a stonekeeper. For decades, I watched. I was no longer the Red Skull. I was a ghost, a wraith, bound to this rock, cursed to repeat the same words to any who came seeking the Soul Stone. I had to tell them the price, a soul for a soul. I, who had never loved anything, became the gatekeeper of a power that could only be unlocked by the ultimate sacrifice of love. Do you see the irony? It is a joke on a cosmic scale. I watched so many come, so many fail. They were not willing to pay the price. They thought they could trick the universe, that they could take without giving. They were like me. Then he came. Thanos, the mad titan. He reminded me of myself. The same will. The same vision of a perfected universe, brought about by a terrible cleansing fire. He brought his daughter. And he did what I could not. He sacrificed what he loved. He wept, but he did it. He won. He was stronger than me. And then, years later, they came. The Avengers. A broken woman with red in her ledger and a man with a bow. They stood on that same cliff, and I watched them. I watched them argue. I watched them fight, not to kill each other, but to save each other. Each one wanting to be the one to die. I did not understand it. This love, this need to give your own life for another. It was a weakness. It was the flaw in the human design that I had tried so hard to correct. And yet, watching them, I felt something, a flicker, a ghost of an emotion I could not name. The woman, she won. She threw herself from the cliff, and her friend, his grief, was a physical thing. It was an agony that shook the very mountain. In that moment, I understood. Love was not a weakness. It was a power. A different kind of power. Not the power to control, but the power to endure. The power to sacrifice. It was the power that fueled Steve Rogers. It was what made him get up, time and time again, no matter how many times I knocked him down. I had spent my whole life fighting against it, trying to burn it out of the world. And all this time, it was the one true force in the universe. My curse was finally broken when the stone was taken. I was free, but free to go where? My time is over. My Reich is a bad memory. My Hydra has become something else, something I no longer recognize. I am a relic, a ghost on a mountain, now a ghost in the cosmos. I have had an eternity to think, to reflect. I was not wrong about the world. It is chaotic. It is violent. Humanity does stumble in the dark, hurting itself and everything it touches. I was not wrong in my diagnosis, but I was wrong about the cure. You cannot force order upon the human heart. You cannot burn away pain and fear without also burning away love and hope. In my quest to make the world perfect, I would have made it empty. A clean, silent, beautiful tomb. I wanted to be a god, but gods do not feel the cold. They do not know hunger. They do not know the terror of being a small, unwanted boy in a world too big for him. Everything I did, every life I took, every city I planned to destroy, it was all just the scream of that little boy, screaming at the universe, "Look at me! I am not small. I am not weak. I matter." I made myself a monster to fight the monsters of the world. and I became the worst of them all. So now, what is left of Johann Schmidt? Only this story, only this confession spoken into the void. A warning, perhaps, a lesson written in blood and ash. Be careful what you hate, for you will surely become it. Be careful what you desire, for you will surely be enslaved by it. I wanted power. I was given an eternity of solitude. I wanted to control the world. I was made to watch it from a distance, powerless. I am Johann Schmidt, and I am sorry.